Hi, everyone. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the following podcast belong solely to the host and its contributors. They are not necessarily the views of our employers, organizations, committees, or other group or individual.
I'm David Campbell.
And I am Jordan Bullock.
And I'm Joseph Whitney. This is Brewing with BIM,
where we talk about construction processes, technology, BIM, and beer.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Brewing with BIM. I'm Joe Whitney, and with me as always is Dave Campbell. What up, Dave?
Hey Joe. Day 3 of AU, and we are back again. And
no rhyme?
No, dude, my brain is dead today, bro. I started trying to, so for everybody out there, yeah, we, Joe and I laid it on a little bit late last night, and
that was all you. I was in bed by 9.
But at the same time, this has been a great conference so far, a lot of great conversations, networking opportunities. And speaking of great conversations, we have another awesome guest on today, Mr. Scott Langbein. Scott, you want to introduce yourself, sir?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. A little tired, obviously.
I get to say I got to watch the show last night. Follow Joey and Dave around San Diego and find you guys on random patios, rooftop.
Yeah, dude.
Experience.
That rooftop party was legit, though. That was pretty lit. Show up and Joey is singing karaoke.
It was a meeting of beautiful minds collaborating together, sharing industry knowledge. What are you talking about?
Oh, it was amazing. That was so good.
Yeah, that was right after you accused me of being the data guy.
I didn't accuse you.
Data.
For those that don't know, Scott Langbein, David says Langbein, I say Langbein. Which one is it?
I answered both.
Which one is correct?
Bein,
okay.
Bein.
David's always right.
You want to be B-E-A-N if it was Bean?
Langbein.
Bein.
Yeah.
Bein.
All right. Scott.
Yeah, thanks.
Scott L.
Keep it simple.
You are the data guy. You are doing some miraculous things with data, and I know we've talked about them before on other podcasts that were never released because of bad audio, so I apologize. But let's let our listeners know more about you, Scott.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so data's a little bit about me, but long-time positioning measurement guy. That's what I do. I measure things, position things, and then come to find out that there's a lot of data along with measuring and positioning, and we're now exploring what to do with that. So we've got a cool dashboard here that is on the other side of this big blue wall here, at the Autodesk University. Yeah, so I have a chance to talk to customers about what kind of construction data are they using, what do they want to get out of it, and dashboard updates, plan versus actual. Very fun stuff if you're a data guy.
Yeah, so the data, but it's like the fun data because we're also talking about big fun equipment, right? Like big machinery.
Big boy tools. Toys.
Yeah.
Big boy toys. Big girl toys. Yeah. We should. Operators can be girls too.
I just bought a tractor with a backhoe.
Big people toys.
Excited.
Big people toys.
Yeah. I just bought a tractor with a backhoe. I'm so excited.
Did you buy it?
I did. Yeah. I just paid for it. Yeah.
That's the best part of buying land.
Yeah.
You buy the land, but then you get to buy the toys.
I am so excited to play with the toys. Yes.
Just digging. I just want to dig. I just want to dig holes.
I think that means you're gonna have to set up an Aptix dashboard for his machine,
dude. Right? That would be legit.
At least mobile on my tractor.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
It'll be the new proving grounds.
Why not?
Yeah, honestly.
Put some slope sensors on there, and some bucket attachments. Maybe you get the corporation to buy some attachments for you.
Let's get some implements. Let's go. I just bought a brush hog. It has a front loader and a backhoe. I'm trying to think what else I could get. Oh, a box blade. Let's go.
Yeah. Perfect driveway.
There we go, man.
Now, it's funny, this is a trend, though, over our past few interviews. Like, everybody's really talking about data. Everybody's talking about how that data translates from one stage to the next, or mapping the data. That's been actually really the big topic. We talked about, naming standards and all these different ways that you can kind of approach it, but in all reality, data mapping from one system to the next can be a huge task.
Yeah, it's a manual step. When we show them what the integration platform called Aptix, what Aptix does automatically for them, the eyes just love it. They see that, that's going to save me a lot of time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, for the last 10 years, machine control systems, positioning systems, surveyors, layout guys have been throwing away half their data for the last 10 years. Like, there's an amount of, like, when a machine, and I don't know if everybody understands machine control, but if the tractor is controlled by precise positioning tech, we know where that blade and bucket is all the time. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense whenever you're building something or building a road or a trench for utilities. But using that data, the other half of it, like we were throwing that data away 10 years ago, and now we're keeping the data because it's in the cloud, and we're able to do the progress reporting. Like, what did your job site do yesterday? Mm-hmm. Or actually, what did your job site do this morning? And able to show that on a 3D, map, also in graphs, and be able to
not looking for somebody to go out and give you a report, like eyeballing it and kind of saying, hey, we spent this much time here today, and submitting that report, and then going through all those timesheets, going through all those different tasks, and trying to kind of look at where you are, where you think you are, or estimating it and putting it down and saying, we're about this far, or even. We talked about this earlier. I kind of geek out about the whole payment application, the whole payment idea of all of this, because yes, we're progress tracking, right? We want to know if we're keeping up with our schedule, how we're performing. But at the end of the day, too, like, this all comes right back to payment, right? Because in the progress, right, that tracking of the progress itself, the contractors, subcontractors, or what have you, they're coming in and doing that work as well. So that money, like, it's I don't know. When I think about it, like, it's all kind of it needs to be delved out, right?
No, I follow you on the cost, and I heard you talking, and actually walking in this morning, walking down the outside sidewalk, I heard somebody talking about ProEst and cost and stuff, and my ears lit up, because that's the other side of a construction project, and we Topcon do measurement and positioning very, very well. And if we can help use that data better for our customers to get paid quicker, they're going to like us tenfold. I mean, it's not just precisely positioning or making the machine control system awesome, but helping them get paid semi-automatically without generating a whole bunch of stupid PDF reports and stuff, and spending a lot of man hours generating a report just to get an invoice paid. Let's digitize that. Let's use cost items. Let's track them from the bid to the execution. When it gets done and it hits that magical percentage point of done, that means you get paid. And you hear, I mean, so many businesses in, like, the retail world are trying to automate and doing a successful job automating their accounts payable and receivable, and just let's do that for construction too.
100%.
So Florida DOT, I know this because there's a company out of Pittsburgh called Identified Technologies that has a it's like a Pix40. It is Pix40 essentially in the cloud, where you can just upload your files and it'll give you volume calcs, do all that stuff for you, tell you how much piles you got. One of their, they're booming in Florida right now because the DOT requires, and I don't know if they're doing it themselves or if they're actually just requiring it, but
the drone flyovers.
The drone flyovers to do all of the volume calcs so they can do the pay. That's the way they're figuring it.
Well, there's always the verification, dude. There's got to be verification.
But we can do, I mean, the flyovers are cool. I like
no, but drones, I mean, to your point, like,
if we're just tying in, because we already know where the machines are.
Exactly. That is essentially filling out the pay app. Like, that's tracking your 30%.
So how do we get to a point, though, where we can actually implement this from an owner's perspective? Because the owners are the ones that are really going to benefit from seeing that side of things.
Right? Yeah, but at the same time,
flyovers are cool. Like, they're going to be cool for another few years for sure. But we're actually leapfrogging that a little bit. So the machine, if you imagine an excavator, right? It's got a bucket and it digs the dirt. We have technology. Topcon puts tech to know exactly where that bucket is. Well, that bucket moves a certain amount of dirt during the day. And yes, I can assign a flight crew to come in and do a UAV flyover on Thursday every week to measure what that bucket did. But why would I do that if I already know what that bucket did?
Yeah.
And I do. So if you look onto Aptix and you look at the Topcon blue dots in the Aptix map, that is exactly where that bucket moved the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So you do not have to do the flyover.
Exactly. You're not doing that verification.
Or like haul trucks. How many people did I talk to here? They're like, oh yeah, we count our haul trucks. Okay, so you have a person with a counter counting haul trucks to estimate the amount of material.
Yeah, clicker. Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You're doing that to put into a report to submit to the owner to get paid.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you need to do that if you know what the bucket did?
No.
No.
No, exactly, dude. And I mean,
So you can estimate that based off of the elevation of the bucket dumping into a...
Hey, sound guy, do we have a ding? Like a ding?
yeah, right.
A win?
That works.
Yeah.
Chimes.
So we save them hours and hours of time, and that's Aptix, baby.
Yeah, but I think going back to your point, man, and actually talking, kind of thinking about Sheena's point yesterday, right? You're like, hey, how can we get the owners to buy into this? Well, it's not really on the owners. Like, the owners are receiving the invoices. Yes, the owners want to verify, right? The owners need a way of verification, but in all reality, this is on the contractor, the general contractor, the contractor performing this work. And essentially, like, they want to know how far along they are, right? They want to be able to bill the owner for that. If they can say, hey, we have this level of data, hey, you can see this dashboard, right? The owner does not, like, once they gain the trust, once they have, let's say, Aptix, right? They have Aptix. They give this owner the access to the dashboard and they walk them through, just like Scott just said, these blue points are where this bucket is. You do not need to do a drone flyover. We're actually verifying on the equipment as it's working. This is the live data that's coming from it. If you want to verify what we're submitting for this pay app, here's the dashboard. You can look at what this piece of equipment did. You can look at the equipment operator. You can look at the task that this piece of equipment was associated to. Instead of them focusing and spending more money and time, spending man hours, like you said, and sending people out to verify that, we give that to them. We give that solution. Here's access to this. This supports what we are submitting here. We're doing all of this to win your work and keep working with you as a general contractor, as a contractor.
Nice job. Absolutely, yeah. Having that transparent relationship between the owner, the GC potentially, and then the different subcontractors. It's a little bit of a leap of faith. Believe me, I've talked to some contractors, some general contractors, and they're into it, but there's a little bit of reluctance of saying, well, am I going to open up my production rates to the owner? And yes, if you have that relationship with the project owner, and it's construction, right?
So it depends on the contract too, right?
We're living in processes that are contracted from some, is it fair to say, archaic ways?
Yeah.
So we have to deal with that, but once we show the owner, once we show the contractor and then the subs, that this can save you hundreds of hours per year of manual processes.
Yep. Those
people that we're saving time, those job roles, they can go bid additional projects.
Yep.
They can work on additional. Your capacity to do more projects goes up.
Yeah.
So let's make it a lot more efficient.
Yes, sir. Now I think to your point too, kind of back to my comment, I said general contractor, but in all reality, it's most likely the specialty contractor. I mean, obviously, if they're a dirt work contractor, self-performing, yes, they want to be able to track. But a lot of times, like you said, like this is actually might be a specialty contractor, something they want to be able to do to win more work, to build that trust, and to say like this is my productivity. You may not want to let them in, but at the same time, if you're trying to build that relationship, build that trust, and continue to win work. Yeah, this is my productivity. Here it is.
I think yes. I think those are all like maybe the easier paths to get in there. But I think over time, what we're going to see is maybe owners starting to require something like this for better insights.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like when I was talking about DOT specifically, Florida DOT. Saying yes, we're going to fly it, or it has to be flown for before we'll pay, so we can do verification. Now getting to a point where an owner, an educated DOT, model as a deliverable is now a real thing for DOTs. They're all pushing towards it. They want to know the active status on our.
They have
on our
asset
project
management systems. They have many different things they can take from that.
DOTs. We're just talking highways at the current moment, though.
Yeah.
But like, they want to know the status of that project at all times. So giving an owner like that, maybe they can't mandate
Rest stations.
the technology, but just saying they want that open, data. They want that. Maybe it'll make those performing with the GCs, the site and utility contractors, actually want to be transparent and be like, here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to win more work, right? And you're right. I mean,
I'm overworked. I don't want any more work.
Yeah. But contractually, if we can, find owners that will start to reach that level of, requirement where we want this verification, we want this level of verification in order to release this pay app, in order to release this payment, it's got to be flown, or, we need
That's been the trend of this whole thing, though, is getting to automating the pay apps part. Yeah, because I feel like that's the next low-hanging fruit in our area. We've talked about AI getting us there, scanning getting us there, and ultimately that's the goal, right? We all want to get paid. There has to be something on the line, and I think chunking out those data, like we're talking about, we're tasks, and we can feed that downstream. That's got to be the way.
Yeah, I got myself into a conversation, like jumping out of that conversation, like thinking of ourselves as, technologists is cool, but then think of ourselves as, just right now, think of yourself as a normal citizen. Like you're leaving your house, you're going to go buy some groceries. Right?
I'm not sure it can be normal.
Or you're going to go, But like, how many projects do you drive by?
Oh, a lot.
And you look at them, and you know damn well it could be done better.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Every project.
One in my town has
Every
a Procore sign on it. And I'm like, that could definitely be done better. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes.
No, but I think that's what I get a little energized about, like doing this better, right? Because I do. Like, I drive by this one project that's just lane widening. They're widening, adding a lane. And it was designed, the right-of-ways were designed for that. It's simply grading and widening, and they're not using the oldest, like, horses and buggy, but they are using some old stuff, and it pisses me off.
Oh, dude.
Because that's my county tax, that's my state tax.
I don't know.
Being used in a way that is not okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you know, but the state flower of Indiana is actually the construction cone. It comes out every spring and stays up until about winter, and then it'll go out, but then right back the next season, man, it blooms right back out. And I have to constantly ask myself, like, I love the guys over there. I really do love the DOT, the team. I've got to work with them. But I constantly have to ask myself, like, I see, I-65, I-30, all these different highways, all these different roads.
These are complex projects.
Dude, I understand they're complex
complex
projects, definitely. But when one year you're adding a lane to this, right? You add a lane, that's great. The next year you come back out and you work on the same road and you're going to add another lane. And then next year you're gonna do something else to it, or you gotta tear. Man,
I
one
grew
thing
up in
I hate.
Texas. Our roads were always under construction.
Oh my God, dude, I hate it. And I'm like,
Constantly.
why can't this be designed better? What's the plan for this? Like, even then, dude, they'll come through and they'll chop
Available
up an
funds
existing
each year.
asphalt road.
That's what it is.
They chop up an existing asphalt road and turn it into gravel, and then they'll seal it. They do it like a chip and seal on top of that, which I get the reasoning behind it, but then I'm like, why? What is the thought process here? The asphalt road was better than what this is now.
You need to chat with the engineers, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people. And Joe, you said, like, it's the DOTs with some regulation. We need to help.
Yeah.
We as a technology industry need to help the DOT authorities, owners, influence. And I'm not saying like you require it 100%, but influence a better way of getting these projects in. And paving was one of the conversations is what I really got like not emotion, but I got excited about was I was talking to a guy, and like the way we pay paving companies to pave roads is the same way we paid them to pave roads 20 years ago. It's about the amount of material they put in. That shouldn't be the way it is anymore. Like there's some precision you can add to the milling machine. There's precision you can add. You can scan the road, pre-plan the road.
Yep.
Compact.
Mill it. If you mill it perfect, like variable milling, I don't have to put so much asphalt down.
Yeah.
That saves the budget. Like it saves my tax money. That's where I'm back to my personal gripe.
This is the old man curmudgeonly, my tax dollar.
My
podcast.
tax dollar. I am.
taxes
I'm
keep
getting
going
there.
up,
I'm
brother.
older than you, so yeah, I'm closer to that end line. But yeah, maybe after I'm retired and I'm out of the technology,
Yeah,
company,
dude.
I'll just
Yeah.
be that old guy at the town meetings.
Yeah. Stop
Back
raising
in my
my
day,
taxes.
we could do this better.
Data.
I actually think my DOT is doing a great job. They're adopting technology.
You got something on your nose there.
I do. I do. They're good at adopting technology. There's a lot of initiatives they do. They take advantage of federal dollars that are available to try new technologies. I like it. There are things obviously that I think could be done better, and that might be more on the subcontractor side. But like paint striping, why do we need 37 DOT trucks blocking off the road so a really complex truck with 13 people can go down the road and paint stripe it? I worked with this awesome company, L&D Safety Marking. We came up with a workflow where we use the RDM1 road scanner. We scan for the existing paint, and then whenever they repave the road and stuff, they just go back out there with their machine. We used InfoWorks, converted the
Feature extraction.
the LiDAR data into did feature extraction, got the line work done, and then just fed that back into a CAD file and plugged it into his machine. He actually made a little robot that just goes down the road and paints it for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's the next goal. automation, right? Yep. Actually, like we were talking about yesterday, all of this, just automating the tedious tasks and figuring out ways that we can incorporate the data into that, just literally finding ways to just, I guess, get rid of those meaningless, just time-consuming tasks that you can automate with a robot, or whether it's an integration or whatever it is, man. Automation in terms of like the sensors, tracking that data back. There's a lot of different answers.
Yeah. I think late last night, there was a conversation had about the data behind behavioral pattern recording, like recording what our customers do, like their behavior of executing the project.
Yeah.
Is a direction toward that autonomous brain. So you can design some routines or pre-program some routines of these autonomous machines to go do, but what are you basing that off of? Like, wouldn't it be awesome to like take a construction company, observe what they do, record what they do behaviorally when they're executing the project, record what they do, how they do it, and then after a few years of recording that behavioral data, that is what, when they adjust into autonomous machines, they can use their own behavioral stuff to put into the machines.
Train it.
To tell the machine, because somebody's still going to have to program the machine.
Yep. They got to teach it.
We just had this conversation offline, obviously, with a gentleman that works for a very, very large GC, one of the largest in the country.
Yeah.
And we were saying just that. Like he was saying just that. He said, these software companies say they know construction, but they don't actually know construction, and they know another facet, and we want them just to come analyze what we do. Just look at what we do, understand what we do, how we do, why we do.
Yep.
Spend all the time, not just an hour, not just a week, so you can figure out how to sell us, your widget and see how you can fit into our work, how you can sell it to us. But literally come understand how we do it, and then take that back and use that to create the next thing.
I think to truly understand what a construction company is doing, we need to have a relationship with their data. We need to record it, and it could be a year, it could be multiple years of recording that data. You remember last year when we presented at AU, our presentation at the end, somebody said, where do you see this solution? Where do you see the Aptix integration platform in 5 years? And I said, the most exciting part that I'm looking forward to is having had a relationship with a construction company using the Aptix platform consistently for 2-3 years. We've got the data. We've got behaviorally how they approached projects, how they executed, what the machines did on all these various projects for a few years. And if my machine manufacturer partners in the industry can deliver autonomous machines, they have the data of how that machine is going to need to go do it autonomously.
It's beautiful.
That's a big win. That's
a huge win. Yeah, it is.
That's let me go sit on the beach, and if we get there, that's going to be happy days.
Yeah, dude. A bucket of Coronas, some limes.
We
no
don't
stress.
We don't. We're going to talk about alcohol now, dude. I'm going to be sober forever now.
Yeah, up until 5 o'clock.
Your forever resets every day.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. I think we're. We always say that we're at an exciting point in the industry. We can say that every day. I think we say that because we're excited about the things that we get to do, or excited about the things people around us are doing. And I love that hasn't gone away. I still feel like we are at the most exciting point in time in our industry. And I don't know, man. I love to see what you guys are doing. I know the old platforms, you guys had some stuff where you guys had more features and functionality, and eventually we'll get back there once we solve all the world's problems on this side of the fence. Dude, the possibilities are endless. Connected data. I love it.
Data.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it, man. I mean, in all honesty, when we really start thinking about it, Scott knows this, but like he mentioned earlier, when you were in an excavator or anything like that, when you start involving sensors, right now, actually, Aptix will, like he said, it creates points. It knows where that last bucket, that bucket positioning was. So you know where I'm going with this, Joe. But I mean, ultimately, yesterday we talked about creating as-built documentation, like a living as-built file, a living as-built model, maybe held somewhere in the cloud, somewhere where when things happen, when change happens, it's all recorded, and this as-built is kept, right? Because this construction project, any construction project, it's all done. You look at the life cycle of a building, it's all phases, and they'll say this is the as-built. No, that is the as-built per this point in time.
It was a snapshot at a given time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It loses all validity when updates are being done. When you update equipment, you change walls, anything that's done in there, it then, it invalidates your as-built. If we can get to a point with cameras, sensors, all of these items that we have available, this technology that we have available to us, there should be no reason why we can't use that to start creating these models, to create that data to watch and see as things happen.
Real-time changes, tracking.
Exactly.
I love that IoT sensors are now all the latest rage. It just also it kind of infuriates me a little bit because I do remember, 10 years ago, there was that study and they were like, construction is the laggards behind agriculture. Mm-hmm. Construction does not adopt technology. Really, we just didn't adopt a lot of software license subscription things. Yeah. But the technology has always been there. We had sensors. We had IoT, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
We had, all the fun pneumatic and hydraulic toys. We had, we had CAD software and design. We had, there's all the tool, plasma cutters. That stuff's not new. It's been around for a while. So I don't think construction was ever a laggard, but now we're starting to see IoT sensors make their place more common in actually the built environment. Well, but we have had sensors out on.
I think to your point though, brother, one big change that we're seeing now, more than ever, has been opening up of APIs, connectivity, like actual integration of different systems and different data.
That's where Mr. Scott L comes into play with his great integrations.
Well, that's true. That's the buzz. The IoT sensors at the opportunity of the API economy, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to have this conversation 5 years ago. But you look at the major software players in the industry, and they've been forced to get up there.
There's a huge shift, man.
Get that API structure going.
Do you think that this initially started from like a consumer demand though? Because I like to believe that consumer pushes business, and here's my thought process. 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, the Alexas, those sensors, and it was all about the hub, right? The place to integrate. I was doing a lot of stuff with if this, then that, writing my own protocols, pulling my driveway, my my lights come on, what have you, right? Doing all this sort of stuff. Garage door opens. I have a smart house. Yeah. I don't anymore. I took all that stuff offline. But it seemed like, all these sensors being, maybe I'm just a nerd, so I was deep in this, but like all those sensors being on the consumer level, whether it's your Loom light bulbs or your Alexa hubs or your Google Homes, right. All that sort of stuff. Yeah. It makes sense to push it into into other industries.
I mean,
now?
I think you've got a point, but I think that's a stretch. I think we, the GCs, the subcontractors, the contractors, everybody using this software, we are the consumers. So I would say that, to your point, like the consumers are pushing it because construction has had disparate systems for decades. I mean, we use so many different tools, even right now.
We still do. Common data environments are just disparate systems.
Exactly. It's just another disparate system, right? We're using different softwares and different points in time for different needs for the project. So, I mean, it all lines up, but at the same time, kind of what I'm saying here is, we've reached that point now where the consumers, everybody realizes like, hey, I got data over here, I got data over here. It's not benefiting me that these don't talk. I need these to talk, and I'm not going to use your product because when you start seeing other people that start opening up their APIs, that once that competition starts, somebody starts doing that and say, hey, we're going to open up our APIs, we're going to send our data, we're going to let our data flow from your system to another, and we're not going to charge you for it. That's a game changer, dude.
They'll charge for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, some places do, some places don't. Obviously, some APIs are paid and some are not. But what we're seeing is it is now, like Scott said, it's commonplace, man, to see all these different software developers opening up their APIs and providing good documentation. That was another hard thing forever, dude, was actually getting people not only to provide good documentation, but to update documentation if they had an API. Because you have to look through and figure out how you're going to make the calls. Right. And dude, they have deprecated and they didn't keep up with this document. You're trying to connect to that.
Yeah, I remember I was in the marketing and we made a video of one of the Topcon clouds connecting to an Autodesk cloud. Mm-hmm. And we just called it cloud surfing back then. And then the cloud to cloud surf, and then all of a sudden the customer called and said it's not working. So somebody changed an API on one side of the I won't say which side, but somebody changed,
but we know which side,
and it didn't work anymore.
Yeah,
So then we I guess we have to monitor ourselves now.
Yeah,
we have to monitor for those changes, and we have to know ahead of time. And so it's been fun to watch. But Joe, you asked a good question, like why did this happen, or what initiated it? Does it make sense that it was this mobile phone device in front of me with all the icons and apps? Like what was the trigger? And I don't know what it is. I don't have the answer, but I'm wondering if it was like really like the iOS. Like we all had this little phone in our pocket, or the Android stuff, but we had an iOS and you started to see all these icons, like 20 of them from different vendors, 20 different vendors, but they worked together. It was almost like we got trained a whole different way of looking at our personal data, our life data. Like, this little thing in front of me, my phone, shows 20 different companies interoperating with each other. Oh, I guess that should happen in the construction industry. Oh, yeah. I guess that should happen in the design industry. Oh, I wonder if I don't know. I'm just
I could buy a Roku and have Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all these other applications all spread out.
If you buy a Roku, you will see some Topcon ads now, buddy.
Yeah? Woo-woo.
On advertising.
But no, dude, I mean, I think, that's a great point, great perspective, Scott. I mean, you're right, dude. I mean, we have, in all reality, without even thinking about it, we've kind of been trained to think about interoperability.
Expect it.
Yeah.
I know. We have customers now that are, I would say, the least digitally sophisticated customer is starting to be the most demanding in what they expect.
Yeah.
I was talking about the progress mapping. In our surface, we create these automated surfaces of what the machines did, and we look at it from a grid pattern, like a 1 meter by 1 meter grid pattern, 2D, like we're looking at it and making a 3D map at it. And so anyway, had this conversation, and the customer who heard me say it for the first time looks at me and thinks I'm talking about Minecraft. Like the way he's like, oh, so I can track that cubic yard of dirt all over the history of my project? Like he was just instantly there. And I know it was because of Minecraft.
Yeah.
And being a dad and watching my kids play Minecraft, it's
Yep.
like that is so obvious. Like it is so obvious that we should be doing that, and we hadn't been doing it in our industry. But my kids have been using this Minecraft approach of these cubes, and
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, but it's fun how things get pushed, and I don't know why we get pushed here, but
Almost seems like your guided natural progression of change, and it's like, all right, we have this hurdle.
yeah,
Let's solve for it.
You know-
and there are a few of us in the industry that are just stupidly obsessed with process improvement,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
It hurts a little bit.
Yeah. But speaking on...
You get your Six Sigma black belt.
Yeah.
Follow your DMAIC and
Right.
DMAIC
Dude,
principles.
Speaking on Minecraft, though, one thing I really, really love, kind of going back to one of our other points there, the availability of technology and all that kind of stuff. Like my son, he's 14 years old. He's going to be 15 here soon. And he loves Minecraft, right? And loves building new worlds and doing all this stuff and maxing out all of my hard drives on my computer and my Xbox.
Is that why your computer's full? It's Minecraft? Yeah,
No,
we
I
thought
won't
it
let
was
him play
work,
on my
buddy.
work computer, brother. I will not let him because he will straight up max that thing out. But what I really love is I found out Microsoft, a lot of their educational stuff, they have free accounts, and Microsoft offers a free, kids coding platform that will integrate with Minecraft. Dude, I saw this and I started, getting Gabe into, some videos and things like that. Dude, now he codes into Minecraft. He thought it was the coolest thing. I thought it was the coolest thing. He just made it rain pigs, and I'm watching the code go down the other side. Like, yeah, dude, this is sick. They're making it available even in that format. Like, he's on his computer and he wants his axe here to light up in flames. So he's going to go ahead and code that in real quick and make that axe light up.
Awesome,
I'm like, man, the availability, that was not there when I was a kid. I was excited to literally, I played GoldenEye 007 or Halo. I thought those were the coolest things ever.
We had different opportunities, though.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
That kids today don't have. So it's not I used to build bikes. I used to tear down my bike.
Wood
and
shop.
I did, flatland BMX. I built ramps. I had fun in a different way. And I wish I took coding.
Built bridges and put like weights on them and then test them with their, when you shake it or you put wind force and all that kind of stuff against
it. I wasn't
it.
a structural nerd, sorry.
Nah, dude, I loved that stuff as a kid, man, and it was awesome.
Yeah. But, now as I get older, I'm still very much interested in mechanical stuff, but I'm also interested in the data behind it. And I think that's where we're at in society. I think our kids are interested in data. I think the industry, not just our industry, all industries we're looking at data now. Like it's, when you look at all the free apps on your phone, they're free because they're using your data. Data's all around. It's now a commodity, and we can be learning from it and doing better. And I like to see what you guys are, what's next. Anything you can hint at, Scott?
On the spot. I got to think. Hint at for the Aptix. Yeah. What do I want to tell you? There's too much to tell you.
Yeah.
I guess really.
All right.
I don't think I can. I'm wearing a shirt that has a logo on it. I have to be careful.
Well, what I really like, Scott, is that to your guys' credit. I know we're wrapping up. I was going to say just really quick. We talk about and even in all the podcasts that we've done, data, and data is great, right? But when you have a large amount of data, you really need to have a plan on what you're going to do with that data. You got to, it takes a lot of time to, like you said, map it, transform it, and then try to visualize it and have a plan on how that's beneficial, how that affects your company. I really like that you guys have kind of done that already. You built Aptix to focus on this data, this is how we transform it, this is how we bring it in, this is the value that it brings, right? Because a lot of people, they will try to muddle through. We had it earlier, data swamp, right? They try to kind of muddle through that data swamp and figure out what data is valuable, where do we pull it from, how do we connect it from here to there. You guys have already kind of done that for people, and you're rolling that out like, here is the value, here's what we're seeing. Now, this is maybe what we need you to do to get here if you're not already doing these things, but we can map your data with this and produce these visuals, this value, this is your return.
You got to make the data plug and play, and I think that's what you guys are doing very well at the Aptix side.
Yeah.
You guys got a lot of great projects going on. I know, I don't know how much I can share, so I won't share any because there's a logo on my shirt. But I think it's what we've seen from those projects is really exciting. I love to see, what those, clients are.
It's every single one. We provide value, but we're also learning on each one. That's the edge. That's how sharp the knife is. So we're delivering value, but I know for sure because I love the follow up. Like after every customer engagement, you should hear the follow up from my team and the development team, and it's like, whoa. That's even better.
I want to know what those light bulbs are going off in their head, though. They're seeing things that we're not seeing that the benefits are. We're just projecting a perceived benefit, but 6 months of them using it, or 2 years, or whatever that time frame is, going back to them and finding out how they've integrated this into their other systems, like their ERP, their pay apps, trying to figure out where they were seeing the benefits and how it maybe improved their estimation or something like that. Yeah. That's all going to be exciting to hear from. And again, I'm speculating. I'd love to find out what those are.
You're right. Every customer engagement we've had, I've been pleasantly surprised by an additional value point or something that they create that they say, hey, yes, I understand it does this. Scott, thank you for introducing us to it, but we also did this. And I was like, I think I'm pretty smart, but I probably should have thought of that. But I didn't expect it, and then So it's I'm lucky to be on this team, the integration services team with Topcon, and being able to work with a diverse group of customers and be able to work with their data and all the different tools that we have with precise measurement and positioning, and pull it all into a dashboard and leverage the cloud and super smart developers. It's a great place to be.
Well, we'll have to follow up. So we did an episode last year. Again, we couldn't push it out, but the audio was garbage. But in that year, you guys have revamped, changed, done a lot of
Aptix 2.0.
Yeah, made it so crazy things happen in that. So maybe we won't wait a year, but maybe we'll give it 3 to 6 months. We'll follow back up, have you on, and we can talk about the next changes.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
All right.